Well, hi, how are you? That was a quick opening. The reason why it's a quick opening is we want to have all the time we have for one of the best attorneys in the world who you have been watching in trial in the ASAP Rocky case. We'll be joined by him soon.
TACOPINA.
By Michael Bryan in a second. There is Michael Bryan. Michael.
Don't count on me.
I'm the power of the TV,
Now, we have a montage to play. Don't we? Of Joe TACOPINA. Yes, Joe TACOPINA. As I said, one of the most famous lawyers in the world, one of the best lawyers in the world, and my friend, I will say. Okay,
go.
Michael, I'm throwing it back to you.
I think before we get into Joe,
Well, Michael, we can't hear. Michael, can we play the montage of Joe in court?
Hopefully, these discussions that we're going to have, we want to be helpful in trying to arrive at the
Listen,
decisions.
if we can get some sound going here.
Where you don't do violence to your conscience. When you do the right thing. But saying liar, liar, pants on fire is not impeachment.
You can elevate that down.
Establish these incontrovertible facts. They're not controversial. They're not contested. That Rocky
Let's
was
stop
known.
because we're going to elevate that down when Michael Bryan comes back in. And actually, go to the end. Go to the end. There's a part that I want you to see, which is one of my favorite parts. And you'll see
fair
argument
on the evidence.
and
You, in your rebuttal argument, you can say it wasn't extortion. You can address it.
There you go.
Taking his coat off.
Okay. And I have to say,
We about to get justice here, y'all. We about to get justice.
with that, let's welcome and bring on. There he is, Joe TACOPINA from California. Got it, bro. Hi, Joe.
Hi guys, how are you? Jeez.
And we can't hear you either. So can we?
I can hear you guys. You
Now,
can't hear
is
me?
mute on?
No, I don't think so.
I can hear Joe fine. Joe, can you hear me?
I hear you, Michael.
No, you have your mute on the computer.
No, Michael hears me. I hear you.
On your computer, you got mute. Okay?
No, we're good.
You have to unmute yourself.
No, I'm good. Missy hears me. Michael hears me.
Yeah,
Everyone hears
we're
me
good.
but you. And I heard the montage.
There you
That's
go.
for yours, lady.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because I didn't hear it.
Linda,
Okay?
Kim,
Now, how are
Kenny,
you?
Baden,
I'm good.
Baden.
I'm a little tired, but I'm okay.
Really? Really? Everything's
Joe
all good.
TACOPINA,
Everything's all good. That's great.
ASAP Rocky's
Everything's all
lawyer.
good because I was not having that sound going. Okay, so Michael, first of all, before we do anything, before we ask you questions, we know you want. What's the most important thing you want to tell us right now? Because this is your first interview after being gagged.
I hate gag orders. That's what I want to tell you.
No.
Oh, okay, that's all
It
good.
flies in the face
Gag
of
orders,
our you know, the First Amendment. It flies in the face of everything. So I just
Freedom of speech, First
you see,
Amendment.
overly restrictive and look, there's nothing I'm going to say to you that I didn't already say to this jury. And that's the bottom line, right? So we're going to have a frank discussion, and it's, again, this jury knows how I feel. I think it's been made pretty clear. So I feel very good, though. I mean, really, I feel very good. We all know Michael. You know, Linda. Of course, you tried so many cases. You never know. It's like reading tea leaves when you're trying to understand what a jury thinks, what they're, how they look, what they emote. But I mean, the case went in as well as we could have hoped for. I'm just uber confident, and it should. Look, if this were a computer science, this should be a 5-minute acquittal. Unfortunately, it's not a computer science, and you never know what people have as far as biases, motives, and whatever else. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so we have been on this, as you know, right from the beginning, and we reported, because we didn't have access to you, but we had other sources, that the judge was concerned after the Relly's questioning. That's the main witness against your client. That's what this case is about, really. After Relly's question about the prosecution continuing with the ethics going on, and I think that may have something to do not only with the questioning, but I want you to discuss with us the shakedown. Did you ever tell the prosecutor's office, the DA's office, that your client, this was a shakedown and they continue to go forward? That's my first question. That's A. Number B, did the prosecution in writing ever acknowledge that the judge told them that there may be an ethics issue? I don't know if you have it, if you can tell us what it is. If you don't want to tell us what it is, fine, because we're going to ask the DA.
Yeah, well, good luck with that one. Good luck getting an answer from the DA on that one. There is one, there was one part of the gag order still in effect, and it has to do with a particular sidebar conference that we had regarding questions that you're asking me right now. So, in that regard, I can't really speak to anything the judge said at a sidebar during Relly's testimony. But, you know, look, I don't think it takes a rocket science or even a veteran courtroom observer to understand that maybe was the worst witness in the history of American jurisprudence. I mean, he imploded. He was combative on everything, but more importantly, he admitted to perjury. He actually said to me, "Yeah, I lied to you under oath because I just wanted to get out of here. I didn't want to answer any more questions."
And he said I can say whatever I want.
That was one of the greatest ever. He
I
gave
say
us
whatever
4
I
answers
want.
to one question. Yes, no, I don't know,
So
maybe.
you're talking about
So that was
ASAP
literally-
Rally.
I said to him, okay, just pick one.
I can say whatever I want.
Whichever one you want, just pick one for the jury. It was just, you know, he threw a water bottle, he cursed, to the judge.
See, I missed that.
It was just like, whoa. And you know, I had to keep someone said, I'm reading one of your comments there, I had to keep my cool and remain. That was the hardest thing that's ever happened to me. For me to be able to keep my cool with that parasite on the witness stand, because I wanted to really just verbally assault him. Aside from the physical aspect of it, I wanted to verbally assault him, just slice him up. But you know, that would be playing down to his level. That would be giving sort of
What he
feeling
wanted.
to what he wanted, and he was really a volatile human being, and that's what I wanted to portray, right? I mean, here's a guy think about the setting. You have a judge, a jury, bailiffs, sheriff's deputies, cameras, and he's acting hostile and violent and volatile. What does he do in the dark of night in the street when he's alone? You know, and we're painting him as the aggressor in this case, so he played right into that, boy.
Let's talk about Relly real quick.
We told
Yeah,
before
people-
you go, we told
laws
you
and
named you,
field
that
of
our
study.
chat has named you ASAP Taco.
So I have taken a few
Rocky
lower
told me
courses
that. I was
in
pretty happy
my.
about that. So.
Dr. Berry,
I have taken a few lower courses in my major, Strayer University. So I do have my bachelor's in business administration. I wish I had my degree in law, but I have a bachelor's in business administration and a master's in information systems. So I did take a couple law courses. So I took business law and another law. I think it's constitutional law, business law. So those are 2 courses, law courses I took. But law is very interesting. I would love to get my law degree.
People inside the court room commented about his lack of credibility, and whatnot. I mean, there was no question.
Yeah, he said, I don't believe nothing he's saying.
The jury,
Scrapes on the knuckle, or you got grazed by a bullet? No, I don't think so.
I was in Los Angeles a week or 2 before the incident. He got caught on that. He said it was fake at first, then it wasn't fake. I mean, you know, again, other than his name, I don't think he told the truth. I mean, his tongue is a stranger to the truth, and I don't even know if his name's the right name. So for all I know, he lied about that too. But the bottom line is, without him, see, the prosecution then realized what was going on, and they try to make the case. Well, we don't need Relly. As a matter of fact, in my list of 10 questions, which was ignored completely, one of the things the prosecutors asked the case detective, the lead detective, Detective Flores, was, well, without Relly's truthful testimony, can you still establish a shooting occurred? And the detective was like, yes, you can, period. No, not without any explanation. Well, then I get, thank God, do cross-examination. I said, well, let's unpackage that a little bit. When you say yes, you can without Relly. So take Relly out of the picture. So no shell casings that he, you know, conveniently found 2 hours or an hour and 45 minutes after the incident, after 7 police officers searched employments in the exact same location with searchlights and couldn't find any shell casings.
Right,
He
shell
comes
casings.
back an hour and 40 minutes later and happens to find them within
How can you
2 minutes.
be a
Boom,
plaintiff and
that's
bring
out
in
there right there.
some
In the
evidence?
same location the police were searching, we have video. You know, so without his testimony, can you establish a shooting? Well, Detective Flores made it very clear. There's 3 things in this case without Relly. There's the video by the parking garage. There's the video of the buggy video, the grainy video that you can't really see what's going on the street where the actual incident occurs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the sound from one of the Nest cams you hear of what appears to be 2 shots. So I said to Detective Flores, the case detective,
And that
the
still
first
don't prove
video
that it came
by
from
the garage
Rocky's
where it
gun.
appears that Rocky's pulling out what appears to be a gun. I said, can you tell if that's an operable gun? He said, no, from the video you cannot tell. So that could be a replica gun. Yes. Okay. Well, that one's gone. Second video, do you even see a gun in this video? Do you see any evidence of a shooting in the video alone? Well, in the video alone, no.
It could be operable
That's
gun.
what we're talking about, the video alone.
Because you
Nothing,
can't,
right?
you can't even
So that one's
see.
gone. Now,
or
what do you have
prove-
left? The sound, he said.
You can't see or prove that the sound, the gunshot came from Rocky's gun. Like you said, an operable gun. Like I said, this is a good lawyer. Very, remind me of Johnny Cochran. So Joe TACOPINA, very good lawyer.
And he said, and the record gun, the starter pistol.
Yeah, remind me of Johnny Cochran.
Exactly.
You don't,
So,
what he
with
said, if
that,
you don't fit, you must have quit.
the 3 pieces of evidence without Relly, none of which could prove beyond a reasonable doubt or even beyond,
Any
honest
kind of
evidence
doubt.
that
There's
is
plenty of doubt.
an operable gun. Case over. So,
Yeah, that's what they do to the case. Now I'm going to go back to this whole issue of shakedown because I have been big on this. That tape that Relly had with Wally, right, where he said that he needed to get a lawyer to get. He wanted $30 million. It was cash, if I recall. He'd go on an island, go on the beach. They wouldn't be able to find him. But he needed to get the lawyer to get a bag, like a bag man, because of not, it's called extortion. And I've been really big on that I think that's a real ethical problem. And I'm going to ask the prosecutors about whether they had ethics counsel on that. So, but I want to ask you, do you and Rocky, if there is a not guilty, or even if this comes out bad, intend to file ethics charges against the DA, given there's another federal court opinion that reversed a murder conviction because of his outrageous misrepresentation?
It's a fair question. Ultimately, that would be Rocky's decision. Right now I want to focus on just getting the right verdict at this point, and not worry about, whatever is going to happen afterwards, collateral sort of issues. I've been very, obviously, disappointed in a lot of things that's happened in that courtroom, by way of, this is not a game. It's not a contest to see who wins. When you're a prosecutor, I used to be one of those.
So was I.
Right, I know you were. So, I mean, you have a different type of power there. You have a different type of responsibility. It's not just a civil case where you just want to win. You have to also balance a lot of things, a lot of factors, doing justice, making sure, you're proceeding in a way that's right and proper. I've had some issues, obviously, but I don't want to really get into that now. I'm not looking to rehash everything that's happened in that courtroom. It was unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened, but quite frankly, I've never experienced that in my life. I've tried 120 jury trials. I've never had what's happened in this case happen in any other case in my life with a prosecutor, or an opponent, an adversary, when I was a prosecutor even. It's been strange to put it mildly. But on the other hand, when I'm representing someone the way you are, Linda, I take it very personally. I take it very personally. They become family to me. And when you represent someone in a matter of importance like this, and their lives are on the line, and not for death only, but their liberty, certainly, and their family's well-being, I take it personally. When I feel like someone's not playing fair and not shooting straight, I will do whatever I need to do to protect that person. And if that means being as aggressive and, as I need to be, I'll do that. I'm not going to let people, take advantage of people that I'm representing in a matter of importance like this.
Yeah.
Well,
If you don't get
that's
personally
right.
involved, maybe you shouldn't be handling the case. Maybe somebody else will.
100%.
Right? So let me ask you about the motivation to bring this case, because when it first came out, just the thumbnail, people were going, okay, interesting, sounds like something bad could have happened. But then they were questioning, well, why wouldn't your client take that 180 days and the deferred sentence and all? Then they started hearing some of the story, and then of course they heard Relly. So the tide turned dramatically. I think our little poll had something like 85% of the people think that he did nothing wrong. So my question is, what's the motivation for the prosecution? Aren't they looking at this case with normal eyes like any human would?
No, they're not, obviously.
They're looking for convictions as
If
usual.
you're embracing a witness like Tyrell Efron Relly, and you're embracing him and asking a jury to believe him when he's told the jury, I've lied to you, I can say whatever I want, do whatever I want, whenever I want. Yes, I've lied, you've caught me, okay, so what? Or the evidence that you're presenting is fake, even though it's real, and I just want to say it's fake, and I want to get out of here, just give me my $30 million, I want to go home. And you embrace someone like that, I don't think they're worried about, evaluating the case properly. If they would have been, I would have, honestly, I think, I said, prosecution will probably make an argument. In my summation, I said that's something along the lines of, Relly's not on trial. First of all, his credibility is on trial when you have someone who's making an allegation like this. But I said, but perhaps he should be on trial. I mean, you have multiple counts of perjury. You have extortion, which is crystal clear. He's asking. Before he went to the police. Don't forget, guys. He held evidence that he claims he found at the scene that the cops missed. 7 cops for 20 minutes missed in the same spot that he happened to find.
How can you do it? That's injustice.
I named it.
He went to Dunkin' Donuts at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday night during COVID. I guess he must have broken into the Dunkin' Donuts because there was no Dunkin' Donuts open. Yeah, exactly. That's the bag he got, right? And the story was just so convoluted. And they corroborated nothing of his versions. And that's the crazy part.
He never
said
said
he went back with his girlfriend.
Prosecution.
Okay, where's the girl?
Let him sit up there, lie on the stand, bringing in evidence. You the plaintiff and you bringing in evidence, so-called evidence. And you so busy lying, perjuring yourself on the stand. So that case was really something. So I hope it goes Rocky's way. Not guilty.
Or on a commercial plane, Michael. Then I know you said you thought this was just an attack on consistency and credibility. It's more than that. If the DA was going to argue, well, if he shot 9mm shell casings, but he had to fly to New York on a commercial plane and fly back, there's no way he could have taken those shell casings with him because you can't fly commercial with shell casings. I said, oh, really? We're taking his word for it? I mean, that would have been pretty easy to prove. That's an easy fact to prove up, right? Show us the airline ticket. Show us the airline ticket, the flight plan or whatever. Show us something that he took planes out of LA and back to LA. That would have been so easy to do. Nothing. How about this? They got the GPS location data for this one of the 4 guys that were there. This guy, ASAP Hills. One of the 4 guys who was there, right? The guy was getting beaten up by Rowan. They subpoenaed they got a search warrant for his GPS location data, which put him at the scene, put him at Rocky's house afterwards. That's great, okay? Do you think they would have gotten Relly's GPS location data? Because it would have said where he got those bullets from, where he was after the shooting for an hour and 45 minutes, where all this stuff happened, right?
Of course they're not going to do
they
that.
They didn't get his, but they got some irrelevant guys.
Yeah, but they weren't going to do that because they don't want to prove
They did not do.
him wrong.
And
they want y'all to think that he's,
and you can't take this guy's word
telling the truth.
So, I don't know. I just don't understand
what
happened here, why it happened this way. But
so
look, now it's just a matter of
Joe
TACOPINA,
he perjured himself on the stand.
I agree with you. We've been pretty vocal.
And I feel that he did as well.
We're called justice served because we think justice should be served, and we've obviously loved 12B and Lou Levin as witnesses. We think that you close any holes, in our opinion, that were there. But I have to ask you the hard question. What happens if it goes bad and Rocky gets convicted of one or both of the charges? What do you do?
That's not going to happen, Linda, but I mean, what do? We continue to fight. I mean, we have some issues lined up for appeal. For example, I do like this jury. We picked a very smart jury. I have a scientist who builds rocket ships on the jury. Literally builds rocket ships on the jury. I didn't even know those people existed, right? There's a scientist who builds rocket ships on our jury.